The new year is a time for reflection and renewal. It's a chance to look back at what we did in the last 12 months and how we want to change the things we're looking to do in the future. I just want to talk a little bit about how you can set those goals for what you want to achieve in the next 12 months here to come, or 11 months at this point. Every year, I sit back and I look at what I achieved last year and how I want to change that going forward. What time I want to commit to different things, because that's ultimately what I am doing. I'm allocating the time that I have each and every day and each and every year into new pursuits, whatever those may be. And how I typically package those pursuits is through goals. So I've set obtainable goals and I look at things that personally I want to achieve, and then also what is realistic for me to achieve within the next 12 months. For me, it's unrealistic that I'm going to become a billionaire in the next 12 months, but it is more realistic for me to improve my income, increase my income $5,000 per month. That's something that I know that I can do through the business decisions that I'm making going forward. The goal is to make sure that it feels worthwhile for you to achieve that, but not so exorbitant of a goal that it's just not obtainable and you just kind of talk yourself out of actually chasing it because you're just like, oh, that's never going to happen. I'm not going to be able to ever achieve that. So take a step back from those obtainable goals and kind of set smaller achievable goals that you can do on a shorter time frame. So for the full year, my personal goal is to increase my income $5,000 per month. From that, I need to step back and look at what steps I need to make in my business and in my life to where I can make that jump over the course of the year. So what I'm doing is I'm focusing on creating more content. I'm focusing on reaching out to more and more clients so that I can increase my clientele for my personal training. These are all things that I can break out from that $5,000 a month goal a little bit further back. Even further from that, I'm looking at what I need to do to get in front of more clients, have those conversations with more clients, what systems I need to put in place to where I can facilitate having that conversation and working with more of my clients and more of those clients. And this is where sometimes reaching out to mentors, reaching out to people who have done that in the past really comes in handy. For me, I am trying to reach out to people who have reached that income goal that I've set for myself in the training space. I've reached out to the people who have done this before, have created that content, have started the marketing and done all of those things that have allowed for them to create the income and the wealth that I'm looking to create. One thing that really helps when you are starting to do those challenge things, especially with a mentor or even just a friend, is an accountability partner, someone who is going to keep you honest, someone that is going to challenge you and keep you moving in a direction that is how you want to move. The other thing is, when you found that, when you've kind of set up that accountability structure, is really writing down the goals, writing down the little sub goals and the choices and the decisions that you need to make on a daily basis to achieve those goals. Make sure you have those down written. It doesn't have to be like a post-it note that you're putting on your refrigerator, but just have it written in a journal or in some form of document to where you can refer back to it when things get tough and you have to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing and the direction that you are headed. You also want to make sure that you know how to measure that success. What is the time frame that you're trying to achieve this goal? What are the metrics that you are trying to measure to achieve this goal? It's necessary for you to know which direction you're going in order to know what you need to do. And a big portion of this that I've kind of neglected a lot is, especially when talking to other people, is the motivation necessary to do those hard things on a regular basis. It's doing hard stuff, and that's ultimately what we're doing. We're changing our habits, we're changing our patterns, we're doing things that we may not necessarily be very good at to begin with, but we are getting better at them. So it's important to accept that we're not going to be the best, find the resources that are going to enable us to make ourselves better at those things so that we can move a little bit faster. The way I look at learning new things and approaching goal setting and things like that is you're either paying through time or you're paying through money. I like to find a balance between kind of paying time and applying myself as best as I can in those avenues. But frankly, I don't have an unlimited amount of time, and I'm not trying to achieve these goals in the next 20, 30, 40 years. I want to achieve them in the next year. So I have to spend a little bit of money in upfront in order to acquire the skills necessary to put myself in the position that I want to be in by the end of the year. And something else that's really important is sharing this journey with friends, family, and people that are around you in your circle. Is when you do that, you are creating that accountability, that social accountability, but you're also potentially engaging in that with them. They can help you along that way. They can, if you need a little assistance in editing or kind of looking at a new thing in a different perspective, they can give that to you. They may not be experts in that field, but they're giving you a lay person's perspective of what you're trying to do. And that can be important sometimes because we all get so caught up in being experts and being so good at what we do that we forget that not everyone else out in the world cares of these minute differences of, specifically for me, content creation, audio, lighting, and then even deeper into the personal training and the coaching aspect. Not a lot of people care about those things. So kind of getting that change of perspective on what really matters can be very helpful. With this new year, it's important that if you're trying to improve yourself in the long term, that you really apply yourself in that. It's the best way that I think about it is living through intention and giving yourself the latitude and the focus of living with tension. The best way that I like to look at it is living with intention, grabbing yourself and thinking about things in this space of what your focus needs to be and thinking about those constantly, not just going day to day, trying to live through that specific day. Think long term, broaden your horizons. The most successful people are the people that are thinking 5, 10, 15 years down the road and not necessarily what they want for dinner that week. Think big picture and you'll take yourself so much further than you've ever imagined.